Well, howdy YouTube, Unkyjoe here, Unkyjoe's Playhouse. I'm infested. Stay tuned and you'll find out with what. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a little story about Jerry. He was outside the other day doing some outside work for me, mainly weed eating around the house, because we're getting ready to finish our deck project. You got that to look forward to. As soon as the temperature falls below 90 during the day, we're going to go outside and attack that again. But Jerry, meanwhile, was attacked viciously. I might even have some footage of that. Do we have footage of that? Can you roll that? So my technical engineer, whoever that is, this hand, tells me we don't have that footage or I can't find it or something like that. But anyway, Jerry got stung a couple of times because I forgot to kind of tell him, no, that's just his hand. It's all that's left of him, his hand and his head. The rest swole up, we had to amputate. But anyway, I digress. What I failed to tell Jerry when he went out there was to avoid the corner of the house, because about 3 months ago, my spouse came in and said, hey, there's a swarm of bees on the side of the house. And that typically happens during the springtime here in South Texas. You'll get a hive that gets disturbed, and the queen will decide to move the hive, and all the bees will follow her in a cluster. So the next day I went out there, the bees weren't there, so I thought, problem solved, they found a new home. They did find a new home. And they found that new home inside of my home. So I live in a mobile home, and it's elevated off the ground. And they managed to find their way up underneath into my floor, and they set up a hive. And my spouse told me that about a couple of weeks ago, that we had bees in the corner of the house, and I went out and looked, and sure enough, you could see the bees coming and going, collecting pollen and water and whatever else they need to keep the hive healthy. So why am I telling you this? Well, we're getting ready to have the house re-leveled. I don't know if you can see. You see that line behind me on the wall right there? You see how that's cracking, the sheetrock is? A mobile home, if you don't have it put on a permanent foundation, which we never did, the soil out here in South Texas is very expansive. It expands and contracts. This is why normally in the old days they used to build homes on pier and beam foundation, so you could get under there and adjust and re-level your home. Well, you're supposed to have it done on a mobile home every 3 to 6 years. It's been about nearly 10 since I had mine done. So we need to have that done again. And I can't have people out here getting stung by bees. So I went out there the other day and discovered we had, like I say, a bee's nest under the house. But I had no idea the size of that nest. So I decided it was time to call in a professional. Now, I don't want you to get the wrong impression about me. I'm not a tree hugger or anything like that. I do believe in preserving our environment. I love nature, and I don't pollute, don't throw straws into the ocean, that kind of thing. But I don't go overboard on it. But bees are a friendly species. Last time I was stung by a bee is when I was 10 years old, and that was because I was swatted at it. But if you're calm around bees, they're calm around you. They can land on you. They won't sting you. Teach your kids not to smash bees when they see them. Wasps, you can go ahead and kill them. We should have a plague upon the wasp house anyway. They serve no useful purpose that I'm aware of. But bees, they help pollinate. They keep our crops from dying, and they pollinate the trees, and they create lovely, delicious golden honey. And they're beneficial for everybody. And they're cute. You ever seen a fuzzy little bee wiggle its butt? Yeah, they're just adorable. So I could have called an exterminator, and I don't want to kill them all. I would rather have them what they call rehived, whereas they try to capture the entire colony of bees, and then they try to put it in a new hive somewhere far away from your home. And so I called a beekeeper, and I got a hold of this guy named Paul Jemborowski, and I'm going to show you his card right now. That's the guy who I called in the San Antonio area. And I'm out near Seguin, but you can use that information. He's given me permission to use this on my YouTube channel. And I talked with Paul. Paul isn't cheap. I thought, hey, if somebody comes out to rehive the bees, they'll just take the bees because they want them, because of the honey and bees are worth money, but that isn't the way the world works. So $350 later, that's what it costs to have the remediation done. And that was, Paul told me right up front, that was whether he was here an hour or all day getting rid of those bees. And I had to give him permission to cut into the underbelly of the house, but it's no major deal. So Paul was out here for about, I'd say about 3 hours, and he got all the bees. And let's show you the results. So here's Paul in his beekeeper's outfit, and I was safely inside my door because the bees were swarming around. But as you can see right here, there's some honeycomb right there. He just collects the honeycomb and puts it in a black plastic bag. And then the next photo here is the actual honeycomb. This is where he saved it and has got some bees attached to it. He puts it in this this bucket here because that's worth money. He'll take it and put it in a spinner once he gets back to his office and get the honey out of it, and he can turn around and sell that. And honey is very popular here in South Texas. You get a good amount of money for that, for the honey. And then the other thing he did was capture the hive. So on capturing the hive, what you do is you dig into it, you get all the bees, as many of, not all the bees as you can. The queen bee is typically in the center of the hive and is protected by the drones, and she's laying her eggs and doing whatever she's doing. So Paul was able to get that in there, and he had a little box where he collected the bees. He estimated we had a healthy hive of between 5,000 and 6,000 bees in there. So let's take a look at what he collected. So there's the end result. I don't know if you can hear them. And here's where the home was, underneath this corner of the house. There they all are in their box, so good job. Thanks to Paul, he came out and got them removed humanely. Hopefully we'll rehive this. But it's full of thousands of bees. Thousands. He said it went from this end of the house to about where that blue cable is how large the hive was. So we'll need to get back in there and stuff some insulation out. Fortunately, they're not Africanized bees. They're in fact, I haven't been stung yet, and I'm standing right near them, so they don't consider me a threat, I guess. But there you go. And so there you go. So, and as you can see, I was standing right near the hive box. I didn't get stung a single time. Paul got stung a couple of times while he was digging out the nest out from under the house, but like I say, I stood right next to him and never got stung. They weren't interested in me. They were busy protecting the hive. And we did the right thing. But this is one of those things you never expect when you own a home that you're going to run into stuff like this. Well, maybe some of you do. But it's just part and parcel of home ownership, you know. Occasionally you're going to get an infestation of insects or animals or something, and you're just going to have to deal with it. So we let it go as long as we could. I was hoping the bees would actually leave of their own accord once the weather got cold, but that wasn't the case, and I have to protect the people that are coming to work on my house to do the releveling. I don't want them, they've got enough to deal with without having to deal with being stung by, bees that are mad because they're disturbing their home. So anyway, there you go, part and parcel of home ownership at its best and at its worst. But, just because nobody's looking, try to do the right thing. I could have gotten up under there with a bunch of raid and killed a whole colony of bees, but I just wouldn't been able to sleep with myself. Now, the beekeeper tells me that the bees that were left behind, unfortunately, they'll come back for maybe 2 to 3 weeks before they all die off or go find another colony to become a member of. Bees don't live that long anyway. He said typically 3 to 4 weeks before the drones are dead. But still, it's never nice coming home to a home and somebody's taking your home away from you, But I know they're just bees. But still, try to do the right thing. It's good for the environment. It's good for you. It's good for crops. It's good for flowers. Good for trees, etc. So do the right thing. Anyway, we hope you found this video entertaining and informative, if not a little preachy. Give us a thumbs up down below. Tell us your experience with bees. Have you had an infestation in your home? How did you handle it? That kind of thing. Leave your comments down in the comment section. Donate if you're so inclined. We take PayPal. We take Patreon. And please, don't forget to come back and see us. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. click the notification bell, which is, if you have noticed lately on YouTube, neither one of these things are working. I don't get notifications of people I subscribe to anymore. I don't know what's going on. But click it anyway, and then come back to YouTube every day and check your subscribers link. And if I have any new videos, they'll appear there as well. So let's see what else. And don't forget, we'll see you on the other side.